The Pinball Network is online. Launching.
Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
All right, Travis, you ready?
Let's get it.
And I'm so happy to say this. Tom, Graf, are you ready?
I'm back, baby.
Oh boy, here we go.
We're three guys who like to talk pinball, so we came up with a clever name. We're Joel and Travis Tom who talk pinball, and we call ourselves Triple Drain, Triple Drain, Triple Drain. We're Triple Drain.
Triple Drain.
All right. Wow, this feels good. This feels good. Yeah.
Tom's back. Yeah.
Tom is
I'm
back.
glad to be back with friends.
Yes. So just to reiterate, Tom was not on the last episode by choice. By choice, we were, Travis and I had talked about, we needed to do a.
Well, Tom,
Texas
are you
pinball.
hearing this? Joel is just straight up throwing you under the bus.
No,
It's okay.
hey, let me get to it because
okay.
We got a big deal here. I mean,
See what I had to do, Tom? I had to co-host with Joel.
I listened to it,
myself.
and I'm sorry, everybody.
Never leave me again, Tom.
Oh boy.
Never again.
Well, I would love for you guys to never, we got a good thing here. I said it before. Tom is the longest leg of a three-legged stool. And, we were wobbly, but Travis and I, we got through it. I think there wasn't any real substance there. I mean, I think we just kind of make fun of each other and agree with each other, but we need Tom to actually bring in the validity, and the firm, bold statements that we've all grown to love. So
I like pinball.
there we go. See, we wouldn't have had that. Travis would have just been, I don't know, whatever.
Shit, I knew we were missing something last podcast.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Well, for all the listeners out there, sorry to keep you waiting. Thanks for bearing through last episode. But what I was saying is, yes, Tom takes his, professional pinball career seriously. I did see the little news story on you, by the way.
Oh, God.
And
I was trying to get out of that, too.
no, you crushed it.
Nope,
You're
a pro
you're
pinball
modeling.
player now, buddy.
I know you're you prefer still shots for your modeling career, but you may need to break
Sure.
into video, or maybe you are breaking into video. But you're just practicing for Worlds. You're ready to dominate.
I do a stream, Joel.
I know, but this is
Joel's talking
client work.
OnlyFans, Tom. That's
Oh,
what he's
what
getting
is
at
That's
here.
not what
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, glad we got I'm glad we're back. This is needed. I think what I've realized is, when there's three of us, two of us can gang up on the other one, and we kind of just rotate on who that is at any given moment. It's good for Travis. It makes him feel included. So, yeah, glad. All right. Well, number one, I did the list today, so the numbers actually work. So number one, we have listed here as catching up. So, it's been a little while. It's been a little while since we recorded. I don't know. Anything crazy? I don't know. Has anything happened in your lives that's worth mentioning? All right, nothing.
Anything, Tom? Anything for you?
Great Lakes Pinball Open, Midwest Gaming Classic, baseball started. Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. Any highlights on any of that you mentioned? Anything worth filling in the listeners?
No, I did the Clock Chaos tournament this year and helped out with that, and also the main tournament, which Andy Bagwell won. Congrats to him.
Nice.
Yeah,
You sound really
MGC
excited about Andy's
I
victory.
I know. He'll love that. But no, MGC was a big success. It was the most attended the show's ever been.
Nice.
And looking forward to next year.
Nice. No crazy. I know you were basically living the tournament the whole time, but there wasn't any crazy reveals, or did you have a chance to play any games there that you hadn't played before, or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, there was definitely no reveals. I was hoping for, a JJP game, but that didn't happen.
Got it. And then, catching up, Travis. I know we typically have a pretty active Facebook chat, throughout the week, and I live at my computer. I mean, I do software support for a living, and then Tom, whenever he's not drilling teeth, he's pretty active in the chat. And Travis used to be on the chat all the time, but I don't know about you, Tom, but the last week, it's just, it's like Travis has a big boy job. He's working.
He's a busy man.
Yeah.
I
Proud of
found
you,
someone
Travis.
else. I'm sorry.
Found someone else. Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. You're putting in work.
You whore.
You're Travis is putting in work at the pinball company. I think I don't know. You're keeping your head above water, right? I mean, it's a lot.
I mean, somewhat. I'm at a
Yeah.
computer a lot, so it's like I'm rapidly turning into a neckbeard, it feels like. So I need to make sure to get outside every now and again, I guess.
Yeah, and hiss at the sun. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
whenever I do get to see the sun, it rains all the time up here in the St. Louis area. I don't know what it is.
At least there's no tornadoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's none of that. The most wind we have is maybe 12, 13 miles per hour, but it rains just nonstop. Like every other day, it feels like it's just pouring rain and then nothing, then back to rain, nothing. So I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I'm sorry your body's not, used to moisture, but yeah, good luck with it. That's
What?
the Midwest, man. Yeah. I don't know. Oklahoma dirt or something is what it sounds like. You're
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's a lot windier in Oklahoma. So, yeah. It's like when you go outside, it feels like you have, what is that you use to dry off your hair? A
hair dryer.
Hair dryer?
yeah, hair dryer. That makes sense. I just had to reverse the words
Holy
around.
cow.
Yeah. A
You're
hair
on
dryer.
tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fast wind
There you
machine.
go.
Holy cow! What is
Whatever it is, that thingamajigger that just like
The
throws out
topper on
wind at you.
whirlwind.
Yeah, like the hot stuff that comes at you. Yeah.
Boy.
So
hair
it feels like you got
dryer.
a hair dryer on the back of your neck when you go outside in Oklahoma. So
Yeah,
yes,
Just wait for
let's just
humidity.
edit that part out. Don't worry about it. It's
Nah.
good.
Humidity, man. Just wait for the summer, and you're introduced to humidity for the first time. You'll love it.
Well,
It's
I'm
great.
so glad we got to catch up. This has been a
Yeah,
great
this is
podcast so
important.
far. I'm glad I'm spending my evening
night.
with you
Yeah.
two.
Good night,
knuckleheads.
It's a
everyone.
lot better when two people know an obvious answer and it makes the one person feel dumb compared to just one-on-one.
I'm glad you at least corrected me and you gave me the answer and you just didn't let me like spend the next minute trying to figure out that word. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This was the same guy that said two idiots and himself. So
Two idiot. Yeah. Yeah.
That's still a T-shirt that's waiting to come out.
Oh boy. Well, if anybody's still listening, thanks for listening. But yeah, so just moving forward, news wise, I've basically, my last few weeks have just been, streaming, having a good time, but I've been streaming Rush a good bit. And Zach with flipping out, he lives in Evansville, just a few hours away from me. He lets me borrow games to stream. And so on Thursday, he's coming to pick up Rush. So this particular one will be for sale. So if you want to buy one used, hit up Zach. But otherwise, he's what?
I can definitely tell that Joel does not like Rush when I watch
Oh,
his streams.
yeah.
Yeah, I meant to ask you about that, Tom. Were you like
Yeah,
just
offended.
taking your phone and just throwing it against the wall when you heard what Joel was saying about Rush?
Pretty much.
I mean,
Yeah.
he waited till you weren't on the podcast.
I had to wait.
I
yeah.
know.
Just take a shat all over it. I don't know what it was.
I just can't say it to your face, Tom. You know,
Still the greatest game.
I'm, this is my 100% honesty. When
Here
I
comes
stream
fence
Rush,
sitter Joel again. Here he comes.
no,
rushing up,
this is the
hopping
thing.
on.
When I stream Rush, I feel bad, and I feel bad because I know I am not showing the game in a good light. Like if Zach is letting me borrow this game for marketing purposes, like I am not helping him sell this game. That's
Hey.
the thing.
Self-awareness is the first step to recovery. So
There we
we
go.
appreciate that
Perfect.
about you.
Yeah. And that to me, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to blame it on. But when I see other people stream Rush, absolutely. They look like they're having a lot more fun than me and they're hitting a lot more shots than I am. And this is a game that really, it blows up. Why are you pointing? What are you doing?
You need glasses.
I had LASIK done. Okay. I have my LASIK's done and it works great.
See your eye doctor.
Yeah. See my eye. Try, I don't know,
I can't
play
find
better.
the shots. I
Yeah.
don't know where they are. It's like
I'm
they
not
keep moving.
I'm not an idiot. It's a hard game. It's freaking John Borg, man. I don't know. I can't really defend my lack of poor play, but I mean, I see it. I see the code. Ray's been on. Ray Day, who coded the game, has been on my stream before. I see it. I see what makes this game so good and why people like you and Tom and Travis actually really love this game. and the crazy deep strategies of this game. Like I see it, and that's what I'm frustrated by. Is I know it's there and I know what to do. I just can't do it.
Have you tried practicing?
Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't done that. But what I did try was I turned it. This is what's really sad. I had moved the outlane posts down. So I made them, I closed them off. I did that way early on. But this is the real sad part.
Got the training wheels on. That's okay.
No, it gets
Nothing
worse.
wrong with that.
It gets worse because Raymond's like, hey, why don't you try turning it in easy mode? Easy mode, right? And
did you put rubber bands on?
No, I didn't put rubber bands on it. No, there are some preset settings in a game, and there's factory settings.
5 degrees, I bet.
No,
also.
I did not
Pinball.
do that. I just set it to easy mode. So, like, remember when the game originally came out, and you'd get to any of the multi-balls, it would be a 3-ball multi-ball instead of 2.
Yep.
You know, it's like some of those things. So a few less hits to certain things, and I only did that for one stream. And I will tell you, it didn't help. It didn't help. I mean, I was able to achieve some more stuff, but that was the second night of streaming in a row, and I was pretty tired. So my reflexes were not there. But
and everybody keeps saying that the Pro Time Machine shot is tougher than the LE.
it is.
Yes,
It is.
100%.
But the thing goes down, and you hit it, and it ricochets back off. It's not a. I think the return is better on the Pro than it is on the LE. When
I would agree to that. Yeah, because it's not hitting a dead end shot and then just coming back to you.
Right.
But we do have the buck shot that doesn't exist either.
The problem is mine is still a dead end shot because I'm hitting the post.
The problem is it's Joel.
So, yes.
That's the problem.
So the 2 posts on both sides of the ramp are wider than the thin rubbers that are on the premium and LE. So that's what's frustrating is the ramp shot is a very important shot, obviously, in the game. And there have been plenty of times that I can't hit that shot for anything. But the buck shot, I mean, you hit the target and it comes back at you. You got to react to it. I don't know. I mean, that's why it's not that I think it's a bad game. You know, there have been games that I've had that it's just like, wow, I'm bored of this. Like, I'm sick of the code, or I don't see the potential here. Like, these shots aren't fun. It's not that at all. It's just this game makes me feel like a terrible player. And because of that, I'm missing out on the fun that everybody else is having. Like, that's the way I feel when I play the game. So, to all the Rush owners out there, it's, you know, if you're loving it, I'm really happy for you. But yeah, this is just a game that's just personally is hard for me to really enjoy like I do other games. So I don't know.
Got to believe in yourself, Joel.
Sorry to disappoint you guys.
If you want to personally attack Joel, just send all emails to tripledrainpodcast@gmail.com. Oh no, triple drain at
tripledrain@gmail.com. Yes, I mean, I'll read it. Be happy to read it.
We have an email.
Oh,
we
God,
do.
you're the worst. Yeah. So, anyways, what I was saying.
I don't have access to this. Wait, do you both
just
have access
Joel
to
and
the
I
email?
have it. Yeah.
Tom and I
I
read it
thought
all
we
along.
sent you the password.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah.
A long time ago when we started the podcast.
It's okay. I don't have time for that anyways. You guys are right.
Yeah, reading is a lot harder for you than most. So yeah. But anyways,
This is true. I won't deny that.
So Thursday, Zach is picking up Rush and he's swapping it out for GNR. So what I found is I've talked a bunch about this on my streams, and what I'm really realizing is how polarizing Guns N' Roses is. Like, there are some people that are like, give it a week, it's an amazing experience, there's no other game like it. And then there are other people that are like, yeah, you should have kept Rush. Or they're like, you know, good luck, or like, you're going to be bored of that, or hey, if you like multi-ball, you're going to love, like, I don't, it just seems like a super polarizing game. And the reason I picked it, and here's the deal, I think I've mentioned these to you, but Zach has essentially given me 3 options. It was either GNR, it was Star Wars Premium, or recently he threw out the idea of Batman 66. And I've always liked Batman 66. But the reason I'm considering, oh yeah, Travis's eyes lit up.
Did you say no to Batman?
The reason I'm saying no to Batman is because of how polarizing GNR is. And I want to feel, you know, we have listeners that are JJP fanboys, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's just there are some people that truly believe that JJP games are better than anything else that's out on the market. And now that I'm more involved in the hobby, I want to put time in this, and I just want to see where I fall. I mean, I may come out of this respecting JJP more. I may like GNR. I may hate it. I don't know. So it's more, I want to put in the time just because I want to feel it. I want to feel it out.
I
Go
do
ahead.
have a prediction for you
I'm
because we
ready.
did talk about this, and I'm
Yeah.
a big Star Wars fan, and I
Yep.
had a Star Wars Premium, and I love that pin. I ultimately had to let it go because I had nothing left to do on that pin. And I even told you, I said, you should go for GNR because I think you'd have a lot more fun with that. So honestly, I think you'll have a good time on it. I mean, even though my first review of the game wasn't exactly glowing
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, I think it still has a place at home because I even had one at the house for a little while. My kids loved it, wife loved it, and I enjoyed playing it to an extent, just figuring out the intricacies of it and the nuance to it, because there is some nuance to it as well. But I think in a home setting, the game is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. And Tom, you still own one. So
Correct.
And
Yep.
why do you still own it? Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know. I like it. I like Guns N' Roses music. It's a cool game. I mean, it's not a huge tournament game because of the endless multi balls, but I like Travis said, I like it as a home game to get, try to get as far into it as I can, and
Sure.
it's a deep game.
Yeah.
Same reason I like Hobbit, and
Yeah.
I still have my Willy Wonka. So
Now, do you like Wonka or GNR better, Tom?
I like Wonka better. I
I
just
do
think
too.
it's
I think
more,
after playing Wonka, I feel the same way.
yeah, it's just I don't know. It's more balanced out, I want to say. It can be a tournament game to me, so but that's all I have to say about that.
There you go.
Well,
Joel, I think you'll have fun being Welcome to the Jungle. I think you'll be just fine
yeah.
with that. 'Cause,
I think
it is-
you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, in a home setting, when you turn off all the lights, you don't have people distracting you or anything like that. You have, I guess in your case, friends and family all around you. I mean, it is truly a concert in a box. So if you're judging it from that, I think you'll have a lot of fun.
Sure.
If you're trying to figure out every which way to play the game, you might kind of like just spin your way into the ground, trying to figure that out with the patches and everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean,
Do you think Joel will blow it up like Carl?
No.
Carl Dan.
like,
that's-
what do you mean blow it up? Like
Well, like
have
the
you know,
same
he'll get
score?
like a 100 million jackpot.
I tell you what, if
one of the
Joel
songs.
gets 50 million, I will personally come on his stream and give 10 gifted subs.
Oh
50
wow!
million. So I need 50 there. This is, I don't know the scoring. I'm assuming this is not going to happen, but 50
Now you-
million jackpot is what I need.
With the
That's
glass
okay.
on.
Of course, the glass on. Yeah, yeah. And I won't even put it in easy mode.
Well, you can. The whole game's easy mode. It spits out multi-balls at you the whole time.
Well, that is one thing I do know absolutely. Like my multi-ball play needs to improve. Like that is one area of my game. There's a lot of areas of my game that I need
But
to play better.
you
but-
can't
After
trap
everything-
you can't trap up on the game.
I
Well,
know.
you can,
but
but
what-
it'll hurt you.
what surprised me the few times I've played it before is how quickly you can get into the multi-balls before you're in a song. And the more streams that I've watched, like I've watched some of Carl's streams, it's basically I'm realizing the game is kind of, you have the pre-song and then in the song, kind of like it's always two phases. So before the song, you want to get, like, you want to build, you're in a building phase. And then you get, so it's like, are you locking balls to bring them into the song, or are you building up the value of the song? So it's interesting. There's definitely some interesting theory here. But what I'm excited about is, I mean, I stream. And so when I'm playing a game for 2 hours straight, what I'm pumped about is this game is going to give me options to, play the game. Like, I'll probably just for a while roll with whatever song it gives me. But if I find I like songs better than the other, the fact that I have 20 something songs I can pick from and switch around and make it feel different and kind of unique as I go. I'm looking at it more as like a JJP experience. I want to feel it out. And then I'm excited for what the game offers. But
Well, you're going to have a lot of fun on it because honestly, I feel like the game is tailor made for a player like you. And I mean, like,
one that
the player,
sucks. Yeah.
well, no. Like, the
Well
player
done, Tom. Tom was on that. He knew it was coming.
I mean,
Yeah.
like the player that isn't like a hardcore tournament player that just enjoys playing pinball at your house, just enjoys hitting the start button and taken 30 minutes to just fill out a game. Doesn't really necessarily need to know every single rule, doesn't need to know exactly where you need to put the ball at every single second of the game. And that's a lot of the charm of GNR, is because there is so much that's going on. I think if you want to know what's going on, yeah, you could figure out the depth of the game and maybe get a little bit more fun out of it if you choose to go that route. But at the same time, it's the type of game that if you just love chimp flipping and just having no care in the world and just listen to GNR, you're going to have a lot of fun on the game, because it's specifically designed for that. And the rule set is designed around that, just to keep the action moving along in that sense. So it's not really one of those games that requires to have a ton of ball control to have fun, because there's so many multi-balls there near the start button. So even if you start bricking a shot here and there, what do you care when you have 2 or 3 other balls going on at the same time? I mean, that's the nature of the beast.
Well, I know a lot of people complain about the way the JJP flippers feel. And I know Carl D'Angelo, IE Pinball, a fantastic streamer and an incredible player. We've had him on the show. I reached out to Carl. Carl owns a GNR and he likes it. Like, he really enjoys the game. So I asked him, I was like, what do you suggest? And he said, he goes, well, first off, turn the flippers all the way up. Make them as powerful as possible. And then he goes, you have to get flipper fans. So what people may or may not know this, but pinmonk.com, he basically has done all this testing on how hot coils get. The longer you play a game, the coils that power your flippers get hot, and the hotter they get, the weaker they get. And so basically that's what, if you're going to turn them up to max, power, we need to make sure they stay cool so that you can play this game, especially if I'm going to, BRB, keep talking. I love reading it out just because it makes Travis look bad. Yep. Yeah. BRB. No, you can go pee. Do whatever you need to do, man. Yeah. Just wash your hands. You're good. Yeah. By the way, Travis now has a basement, and he's cold all the time. So he bought this like ridiculously large hoodie. I don't know if you saw that Tom, but
I did.
That hoodie's like down to his knees, and it's like a
Sherpa hoodie. A winter coat.
It's
Look
unbelievable.
At that thing.
It's unbelievable.
I can still hear you a-holes.
You could put on, Travis, you could put on easily 60 pounds and no one would notice in that hoodie. I mean, it is.
That's true.
You do you, man. Yeah.
Monica would notice, though. So
yeah.
Is it really cold in your basement? Because it's 61 degrees in mine.
That is freezing, Tom. Why are you acting like that's not cold?
It's like it was 70 degrees outside today. And, the heat's not on.
I have a whole tangent about this, but I don't want to derail the podcast. So we'll talk about this off podcast.
All right, fine.
I hate basements. That's all there is to it.
Basements are so great. You're just wrong on that. But
I do have a spotted cow, though, Tom.
Ooh, spotted cow. Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad
I should go get one of my Rush Bears.
Everybody that's
should.
listening to a podcast is
Mike Castleman from Pinballers. Sorry, Joel, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
we're just talking beer.
Yeah,
Joel
Travis is holding up his can of
story.
beer to a camera, like, "Oh, I'm glad that's entertaining 2 whole people." Yeah, for
What?
everybody else
Tom,
on the
do you even know
podcast,
what
it's
spotted
audio.
cow is, Joel? That's like
Yes, I do. Yeah.
that's like a religion in Wisconsin.
Yes.
You're lucky, like Tom can even still function right now, seeing spotted cow in front of him.
He's drooling. Yeah.
Getting thirsty.
It immediately made him think of Rush.
Well,
Okay, we got way off. Were we talking about?
I was
flipper
talking about
fans?
flipper
What were we
fans.
talking
That's all
about?
I'm saying. Is so I don't know if anybody's listening to the podcast and they have a JJP game, if they realize, or even the reality is I actually have them in all my games, and it's because I stream the game, so I play them so long for 2 hours straight. There are certain games where all of a sudden a ramp shot that you could hit at the beginning of the stream, you can't anymore. And yes, there are times that I can hit shots at the beginning of the stream. But
do you know how we know that Carl is such a good guy?
because
He puts up with Joel.
Yeah,
he puts up with everybody.
well,
He's
that-
so
That's
great.
true. He puts
But
up
Tom,
with me too.
Literally, the way Joel was talking right there, that means Carl was talking to Joel as if Joel would get as deep into GNR that he does.
Well,
He's like, you
okay.
need to get these flipper fades because your flippers will really fade
Hey,
about
as
2.5 hours into the game.
As
when
much
you're
as you're
going for the next
chimping, if you're chimping them as much as an 8-year-old, you want to make sure. I got to make sure my flippers are strong enough that I get my 50 million. I don't want to.
God bless Carl. Such a good guy.
There have been like
Helping the needy in pinball learn GNR.
Yes, help me, please. Yeah, on some Sterns though, there was a time before Flipper Fans when I was borrowing a Stranger Things, and early on when I would stream, you could backhand the left ramp all the time. And then what I realized is later on in the stream, there was a few times that bit me hard. A shot that I was find safe and reliable, all of a sudden you can't. Well, I will tell you, the Pinball Flipper fans solved that. So if you're listening and you're one of those people that you play a game for like 30 plus minutes or longer and you realize you're starting to feel something, check out pinball.com, get a set of fans. It totally solves that problem. But if you're one of those people that, you just turn on your game and you play it 2-3 times, you don't need them. You don't need them.
You still need to buy them right now.
Just to support, yes.
Pinmonk.com.
But Pinmonk has a whole bunch of other cool stuff. I'm a fan of him. He's a great guy. So there's your shill. And that's not a sponsor. Like Pinmonk is legit an awesome dude.
Yeah, I have his in my Avengers and my Godzilla. And they're awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
I feel like I need to get him now.
You should.
I will.
He's not going to do it. He said he was going to get Triple Drain merch like 8 months ago, and it hasn't happened. It has not happened.
Why do I not get it for free? I am one of the co-hosts.
Well, I don't get who. Somebody's got to pay for it. Who's buying it? Yeah. Who do you think's buying it?
All the merch you see me wear, I got it for free, and I will wear it.
Oh,
if I get it for free, I'll wear it on camera.
Then, Joel, do we just chip in and?
I don't feel bad
by the
for
way,
this guy at all.
Where the frick is my TPN hats?
Oh, Travis has them, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot to bring those to you last time I saw you.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
If it was Travis, it's okay.
Yeah, it's free merch, so that's why he still has it. Yeah, even though it wasn't because it was for you. It was yours.
True, yeah. Like, oh, Joel gave me free merch at TPF. Was I supposed to bring it to Wisconsin? Yes. Did I forget? Yep, it happens. What can you do?
Oh, boy.
I'll see Tom next month, though. I'll bring him his hat. It's somewhere around here.
Okay.
Were we talking about Flipper fans still? Where are we
were
going
talking,
with this
I don't know.
conversation?
You guys are just, apparently now clothing Travis is a priority of this podcast. So
that is true.
I don't know. Even though you live in a quilted hoodie now.
Drink, and you guys had to try to throw me under the bus with my. Okay, you're right, Tom. I apologize for including you on. Joel had to throw me under the bus with my just sweet ass, whatever this is called, wearable blanket.
How low does that go? Does that go past your buns, your cheeks, your butt?
Do you want me to show you?
I don't want to see it, but
I want to see this.
Yeah. What I'm hoping for is, oh my goodness, it's so big. Dude,
yeah, it is, Joel.
That is a fucking dress.
That is not a dress.
If you rip
that is a moo-moo.
I don't even care. I will wear this to a tournament. It is so damn comfortable. Don't even care.
What
if you
God. Oh, he turned off his camera. He turned off his camera.
I'm coming back. Don't worry.
No,
Big
this
Papa's
guy
coming back. It's okay. Look, it's coming back on.
He does not know how to recharge.
Now we can legitimately call him Big Papa.
Dude, you send me, Joel. Send me a Triple Drain logo. I will stitch that bad boy on the front of this, and I will wear it to tournaments. It is so comfortable.
You could have more logos than a NASCAR with how big that is. I mean,
you need to wear that in Wisconsin in June. That's what you need.
Well, I don't know about that.
You don't even have to wear shorts or anything under it. Nobody will know the difference. But my question is to you: if you rip one though while you're wearing that, you just straight Dutch ovened yourself, didn't you? I mean, it's low enough. It's going to contain it.
Oh, when you say rip one, you're meaning like fart?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
What other what else are you ripping?
Well, you said rip one. I thought you were meaning like a spinner or something. I didn't realize you're talking about flatulence.
If you farted...
If I fart in this, does it smell? Is that what you're asking?
Of a tint of a hoodie that you're wearing, doesn't it just contain it and just build it up? Because it's definitely not. It's not going anywhere else.
Let's just get the brass tacks, Joel. Since you want me to discuss farting in this thing, I'll tell you. If I feel like I got a fart and I'm sitting down, I get up and I fan out. Okay, let's just be honest here. Nobody's sitting in their own fart. That is not happening.
Dude, you have to take that off before you're sitting on a toilet, don't you? Because that goes way too low.
Dude,
you're not going to bunch that.
If I got to use the bathroom,
you're not bunching that baby up.
Yeah, I got to. So I tried to use the bathroom with it once, and I had to pull it all the way up to my armpits. And it was like I was Porky Piggin. I was like, nah, this ain't going to work anymore. I can't do it.
Not to mention, you're going to break a sweat, just trying to pinch one out. No, I'm happy for you, Travis. I'm glad you found... I don't know, man. You're a special...
We should sell this for merch. I think
there you go. Talk to Zach and Pinball Swag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like the new like pinball just blanket to wear around.
It's awful.
I'm gonna start
man.
a trend.
I mean, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're comfy, but I don't think we need. I don't know. We don't. You do you, man.
Why do we not need this, Joel? Give me one good reason why we don't need this.
I don't. If you look in a mirror, that's all you need. Just look at look in a mirror, and you'll realize why we don't need that. That thing is massive. You could hide both your twins in that thing with you. I mean, yeah. All right, so I think that's enough for number 2. We talked about number 2. I think we're good. We can
Russian
roll
GNR segment
right
done.
on
Good
to
job,
number
guys.
3. Nailed
Great
it.
job.
So
Rumors.
I am pumped about getting the GNR just to experience JJP and kind of prepare, because there's really nothing. There's really nothing coming out between now and I would assume Stern is going to announce something in August. Like, I mean, to be honest, if American Pinball or if whatever CGC, like, I don't see anybody else coming out with anything.
CGC just came out with Cactus Canyon,
and they're barely trickling out. I mean, that's why we're in a lull. We're kind of waiting, and so that's the next thing. The next thing that's coming is going to be the next JJP game, and apparently, unless something crazy happens, it should be Toy Story. It should be Toy Story. I mean, Toy Story has been rumored forever. Apparently, this game's even been done for a while. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to streaming GNR, but if I had to guess, the next game I'm going to stream after GNR will probably be the next JJP game, and I'm guessing it's Toy Story. So I don't know where the two of you guys are at. I mean, obviously, Tom, you've owned JJP games. Travis, you owned GNR. Are you guys like excited for Toy Story? Is this a game that you're planning on buying? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Have you seen what I'm wearing, Joel? This is what all Toy Story fans wear. I'm telling you, this is it.
I don't. I mean, I'm happy for you, man, but it's ridiculous. It's so I wish we had
Hold
video.
up, Tom,
I wish we had video.
Tom, did you see his pants?
My pants are incredible. My power pants. Yeah,
Wait,
they are.
hold up. Wait.
These
I
are
don't mean
incredible.
to derail the segment here, but you cannot make fun
No, these
of
are so
what
good.
I'm wearing, and you're wearing those pants.
They're so good. So look up like old. What
like
is it?
tiger
80s
skin?
Zumba. Yeah, it's like
Just
Zumba.
look up Tiger Speedo, and
No.
that's what Joel's wearing right now.
Blitz. I got these at Goodwill when I was at Purdue. They're black and gold.
No
They look
shit.
like
Of course
tigers.
you got them at Goodwill.
They're
What
so
a
great,
shocker.
man. They're so great. But I don't live in them like you are now doing with your hoodie. These are, yeah, I call them my power pants. They're old workout pants.
That's fair.
Thin cotton. They breathe. They're great.
So Toy Story, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
I really want one. I've been a Toy Story fan for, when did the first movie come out? 1995?
I
So I was like maybe 10, 11 then. So yeah.
So
I can't wait for
you are like you're absolutely planning
Yeah.
on buying one.
Legit, I want to get one. I would like to get one. I know my wife definitely wants to get one. And I know my kids, when they kind of heard about it, they wanted to get one too. But luckily they don't have a job, so they can't
Yeah.
really make that decision. So, but I think ultimately we'll end up getting one. I mean, it's a timeless theme. I think it's a great theme for pinball.
So it is. I mean, just to be clear, it's not like you haven't owned every JJP game. It did like you are buying this or planning on buying this purely based on Toy Story. That's, I mean, just
Well, if I got to be honest, I'm purely buying it because my wife wants it, and happy wife, happy life.
There we
But
go,
yeah,
okay.
secondary Toy Story is a pretty fun theme, though.
okay. But and then Tom, are you already on a list somewhere? Are you planning
Yeah,
on getting one?
I think I'll be getting one. But I'm a little nervous about, JJP's had those playfield issues in the past. I have it on my Wonka, which they did send me a new playfield,
Nice.
and I'm very thankful for that. My GNR, luckily, has not had any issues, but I know a lot of people that have,
Yeah.
and I think their new policy now is that they're not replacing playfields. So if that's the case, and the prices the way they are, we'll have to see. It's going to have to be a game that's going to blow my socks off.
So your view is I'm on a list right now, but you would be Yeah, if what you see doesn't blow your socks off, you'll just take your name off the list. That's the plan, or
Yeah,
you'd give it a shot, or yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't
yeah,
want to, I don't want to speculate.
sure.
I'm sure it'll be a good game, but
Yeah.
the playfield issues makes me nervous.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm hearing, drink up, boys. Yeah, no,
Thank you.
drink your spotted cow, and Tom's got some lemonade concoctions. What it looks like.
Mhm.
Nice job.
Crystal Light.
There we go. Yeah, I'm in a weird spot because I'm actually really looking forward to this, and reason being is my parents are finishing their basement, and they've agreed that they want a pinball machine, and so what's weird, and I'll bring this back up later, but my plan was always to just get an older game, like a Taxi or something like that. Get an older game that was kind of beat
Stars.
up. Maybe not that old. Stars is good though, but like a game that has some sort of clear objectives and stuff like that. So, but my plan was get one that's kind of beat up, fix it up for them, and have a good time. But the price of these used older games is so absurd now that it's almost like, well, might as well get you a new game. So I've been talking to them a lot about themes and stuff that are out there. And my dad is kind of cheap. He doesn't like spending money. But when Toy Story came up as a theme, like he perked up. Like he's like, now that's a theme I could get behind. And so what's interesting is I know like this is potentially a game, and I have full intention. Like I'm pretty certain this is going to be an expensive game. But I do think there is a chance that this would be a game that they'd want. So like I'm very much looking forward to this reveal because I feel I might, it's not like I have stake in the game, but I'm actually kind of looking at it as maybe this would be a game that we would buy and I'd stream for a while and then my parents would one day own. So I'm more excited about this reveal than any of the other JJP reveals that I've experienced. Not to mention it's a theme that I'm really, really excited about. But I don't know. We could probably discuss some of the rumors. I mean, I don't know. What rumors have you heard, Tom? How about that? We'll start with you, Tom.
I was just gonna say I haven't heard any, so I guess I'm out of this conversation. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Basic rumors. So the number one would be
Pat Lawler's
Pat Lawler.
doing
Pat Lawler,
it.
yeah. Pat Lawler. So anybody that's new to the hobby that happens to be listening to this, Pat Lawler, I mean, some argue he's one, if not the best pinball designer ever. He made Addams Family, he made Twilight Zone. He's made some, beloved games. And he has a very specific kind of theme, or not theme, but like he always has whatever the 5-lane apron, right? So like there's always the double in lane on one side. He loves his pop bumpers. He loves having a shot through the pops. There's a real good chance this won't be a 2-flipper game. It'll be at least a 3-flipper game. Like these are all pretty normal Pat Lawler isms. But yeah, rumors are that he's designed this game and it is going to be his last game. Like those are the rumors that are out there. So, is this his swan song kind of thing? I don't know. Travis, have you heard any other rumors or what? Anything?
I mean, a couple of things, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think what do I feel comfortable saying on a podcast?
Yeah, Travis works for a pinball distributor
I'll just
now,
say
so he's got to like
Jersey
tiptoe.
Jack Pinball makes games. We'll just end it at that.
I'll say the one thing that I am most curious of that, of course, nobody knows yet, and that we're all trying to figure out is whether or not the game will have hot rails. I mean, I think that's the question that a lot of people have been asking because they were so predominant on GNR, and it actually made that game really, really come to life from a light show perspective. So I don't, we talked about this before the podcast, whether or not something like that would be on a Toy Story, because it's not necessarily a quote unquote concert in a box, but it's going to be a movie experience in a box. And so maybe the hot rails would equal out being something good for it based on the type of modes that are in there and everything. But then at the same time, I can see it from the other perspective that, the hot rails, some people felt like they were too distracting since the lights basically pointed straight upwards. I've heard that from people before. So I'm curious to see whether or not they implement that with Toy Story once it comes out. So assuming it is Toy Story.
Well, Tom, what's your view of Hot Rails? Do you like them or no?
I think they're really cool. In a game like GNR, they're cool because it gives you that concert experience, but I'm not
Yep.
sure how it'll trend over to a movie game like Toy Story.
Good point.
So, but I mean, it could be well done, just maybe not so flashy kind of thing, but I mean, not, and obviously, Stern has their own kind of hot rails. They
Mhm.
got the Led Zeppelin
expression
the
light
expression
kit. Yep.
lights. Thank you. Couldn't think of the name. And they
Hair
got it
dryer.
on Rush,
Hair dry. Yeah. Totally.
but
The
they don't
blinky
have it
bar
on
lights, yeah.
Beatles.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
The big question, really, though, that comes with Toy Story, is it going to be based off the first movie or all 4 movies? That's the big question.
It's a great question.
That's a good question, and I'll give you a short answer to that because I want to talk more about Hot Rails. But my short answer is the first movie is amazing. So if it is only the first movie, I would be totally fine. Now, with that said, there were additional characters that were added in later movies. Like Jesse wasn't in. I don't think Jesse was in anything. I don't think Jesse was in the second movie or whatever. Like, so there are people that probably love Jesse. Okay, apparently this is too short. This is not a short answer. That's what freaking Travis is telling. I was just trying. I want to talk about Hot Rails. You want me to come back and give me a long
All right,
answer?
go
I'll come
back to
to
Hot
it.
Rails.
Yeah, I'll put
I'm
a
just
pin in
messing
it.
with you,
We'll
Joel.
come
Do
back
you want to
my
talk about Hot
my
Rails? We
short-
can talk about Hot Rails.
Hot Rails. Yeah, let's talk about Hot Rails. That's a good idea. Hot Rails to me, when I saw the GNR reveal, as soon as I saw the Hot Rails, I thought like that was like a no way. Like that blew me away. And it was one of those like,
they're
how
pretty
has
badass.
this not happened? Like, how did nobody think of this? Like these, to me, these are genius kind of thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but GNR was revealed before Led Zeppelin, right? Like I think GNR came out first.
Yeah, but I
Yes.
could have swore that I thought either Tim Sexton or somebody said that they had been working on the expression lights before
Yeah.
the GNR Hot Rails were revealed.
They had, but there were
Okay.
definitely people that when Led Zeppelin came out and they showed the expression lights, people were like, well, Stern had to react. Stern obviously saw. It's like, no, that's not. They're
Yeah.
not going to whip up
Stern
an entire
invented
thing
this
like
in
that
2 weeks.
in
Yep.
in a month and a half.
Right.
Yeah, it's not how that works. But right around the same time, the Hot Rails came out. I was like, those are genius. That's amazing. I'm all for the light show. I mean, even just like my TNA, every light in that game is an RGB LED, and what you can do with the light show, the GI, the inserts, everything, you can just do so much with the light shows. And every JJP game has been that way. I mean, and so they added more lights to the rails, and it just, I think the more light show you put in there, there can be a point where too much light show can be distracting, but having those additional lights can also be highly informative if it's coded right. Now GNR, their focus when they were coding in the Hot Rails was to make you feel more immersed and make every song feel unique and really try to give you that concert setting. While Led Zeppelin, though, when the expression light kit, I know for a fact, Zach and Nicole let me borrow a Led Zeppelin Pro, and I played it and I streamed it for well over a month plus. And then Zach sent me an expression light kit, and I put it in the game, and it was truly a game changer. Like bringing in the expression lighting to that game just added so much to it, made it feel so immersive. And I am bummed. I'm grateful that Zach and Nicole have let me borrow this Rush, but they haven't released the expression light kit for the Rushes yet. So I know for a fact adding an expression light kit into this would really add to the overall experience. So I'm all for it. Like I think every game, like I wish every Stern game had an expression light kit. I trust the team to code it in a way that it would add to the, like Godzilla. If a Godzilla had expression lighting, you can't tell me they can't, make it feel like the destruction jackpots and everything. You don't think they couldn't use those lights in a really cool manner? You look at Mando, like Dwight's all about having multiple GI colors. Like Turtles has red bulbs, green bulbs, and white bulbs for GI, and he does some crazy stuff with that.
Oh
Mando
my
had
God!
a
If
similar
Dwight
thing.
got a hold of those
Yeah,
things, we'd
Dwight
all
had-
be blind.
if Dwight had expression like it, so I'm like
Every
team.
LE owner would get a seizure.
Oh wow, yeah.
It would happen.
But
Dwight
that-
would figure it out.
That is me. I'm on like I am team light show. You know, like put more in there, and let the designers code. So that to me is I hope Toy Story has the hot rails, because if their view is that people won't want them, then just give them the ability to turn them off. But I guarantee there's going to be more people that are going to want them than not want them.
I think
And-
there's overdoing light shows though too.
Do
know,
you have an example? How about that? Do you have an example of a light show that you feel is
Yeah.
too much?
Guns
The
N'
wizard
Roses?
mode.
Guns N'
on-
Roses.
yeah.
Okay.
On some of the songs,
Yeah.
you can't tell what to shoot.
Okay.
On a few of them.
So is that a hot rails issue, or is that just there's too many blinky lights on the playfield?
There's too many blinky lights on the playfield. There's
I don't
like
think
that
it's
even
a
on the
hot rails
standard.
issue.
Yeah. Well, the standard, what bothered me about the standard was the standard hot rails are just white. That to me, I could just see as distracting. Like, I don't see how that is just flashing white bars.
I
you
know that there was a wizard mode on Mandalorian that would make you go just pure blind. I can't remember which one it was, but it's with the red lights. I don't know if it was the Encounters wizard mode because it's been a little while since I played it. But there was one that just basically the lights would go so bright and dark at the same time. I think it was red, if I remember right. That I couldn't even tell where the ball was.
One.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell where the ball was at during the wizard mode. So, I mean, I think like Tom said, there's a place for it to where you're overdoing it and underdoing it. So for me
Okay.
personally, as somebody that's playing the game, I much prefer to see the light show whenever I do something on the game. And if it's going to be a super bright light show with all the bells and whistles, I'd like for the ball to be stopped momentarily so I could actually kind of enjoy it a little bit. But I do acknowledge that sometimes just a pure light show of just like an explosion of lights just comes with the territory, because not every game can have that stop and go for certain shots that happen.
Okay.
Right.
So you want the light show, yeah, where you locked the ball or you destroyed whatever. Like, give me the fancy light show there.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
it
necessarily
just
during the
depends.
game.
I mean, there's different levels to it, but then at the same time, these coders, they have to deal with, or they have to work with the hand that they're dealt, because since they're not the ones designing the game, they got to make the code around whatever design they have. So it's understandable how sometimes it might feel like it's not perfect, or doesn't feel like it's in sync sometimes. And that goes for all games across all eras. That's just not one particular game. I mean, it happens just under different conditions. I mean, you could even be on a game on location to where the lighting isn't that good in the facility itself. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, out of nowhere, the game just gets super bright because you did something, even though the game wasn't meant to be that bright overall. And it sometimes just pops you and distracts you out of nowhere. So, I mean, it's just, and that happens on solid states as well. So, I mean, it's just, there's just different levels to it. But
Okay.
at the same time, it's like nobody, I wouldn't think, people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I wouldn't think somebody is necessarily coding a game thinking, well, how will a tournament player feel about this light show under these conditions? I think that they're just making it just look kick ass and what looks cool and what blends together. I mean, that's really what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, I will say that, I mean, Led Zeppelin came out. I really enjoyed the expression light kit. And I remember thinking to myself, whatever game's coming out next with Stern, like I hope expression lighting is a thing. Like that's a new thing from here on out. And when they announced Mando, I was bummed. I was bummed to see that I was like, well, maybe Mando was too far along to like wedge those in. You know, maybe expression lighting was kind of experimental and they didn't want to just, so I was like, maybe on the next one. Well, the next one was Godzilla, no expression lighting. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, I hope that's not just a one-time thing. So it didn't surprise me to see him in Rush. I think it's fitting. But to me, I'm on team. I wish every Stern game from here on out had expression lighting. And I absolutely hope every JJP game from here on out, with the worst case being, Stern, if you don't want expression lighting, don't put it in the game. Or JJP, if you have the hot rails and you don't like them, as long as you give me an option to dim them or turn them off, then I feel like that satisfies a whole lot more people than because you guys know if they announce Toy Story tomorrow and there's no hot rails, there will be people that will be upset. I mean, I would be one of them. So I think it would be silly to leave them out personally.
Would it stop you from buying it though?
No. Probably
that's
not.
the thing. When you think about peripherals to go on a game or any type of add-on or accessory or anything like that, I don't think it's just one of those things that you think about it from the point of view that if this isn't on the game, does it affect sales? And I don't necessarily believe that expression lights affects the sales. And
Or
I don't
hot
necessarily
rails.
believe that hot rails affects the sales. I think if you don't have the hot rails on the LEs for GNR, they probably would still sell and people would still enjoy the game.
I mean,
So I think
it's going to sell like
Right.
JJP has known playfield issues right now, and there are still people that are just ready to buy the
Right.
game. And
Right.
I don't know how
What
much
I'm
they
getting
have
at
to
is-
strip out for it to actually affect sales.
Right, and that's what I'm getting at. I don't
Yeah.
think it's necessarily an accessory or an add-on to the game that just increases sales just hand over fist.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying it doesn't do it at all, but I mean, obviously Stern realizes that expression lights aren't really meant to drive sales in that regard. Otherwise, it would be placed on every game. I think that's why they made a conscious decision to put it on the rock or the music themed pins, because it's been on Led Zeppelin, it's been on Rush, and for them that makes a lot of sense. Whereas if that was on a Godzilla, I don't know, theme wise, would that really make all the sense? I mean, really the only thing you could truly do with those lights to where you could integrate it with the theme if you put it on the Godzilla is like if you were doing heat ray and it just
Yeah.
mimicked Godzilla's heat ray going out. I can't really
yeah.
think, you know what I mean? I think there's just a time and place for them is what I'm getting at.
I think for certain themes, like I know for a fact, the immersion that I would have experienced from Rush would have been greatly improved if it had the expression light kits, because
no doubt.
because it's songs. You want to rock out to the songs, and you want the songs to feel different. Godzilla, I bet my immersion would increase if it had it, but I don't think it would be nearly the same amount as Rush, or the feeling I felt when I went from Led Zeppelin without expression light
Right.
kits.
And you just hit the nail on the head though.
Yeah.
That's exactly why a lot of people, including myself, says that GNR is so much more fun if you're playing it at home, because the light show is going to be the same whether you're at home or on location, but
Okay.
the sound is going to be incredibly different. And that's part of the package right there. It's just straight up weird if you're playing a GNR on location and you can't hear the music, but
Yeah.
yet the lights are just going everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it goes together. It's a very disjointed experience. And I think you get that across the board. Even if you're playing a Led Zeppelin with the expression lights on
Sure.
location, you can't hear the music, or you're playing Rush and you can't hear the music. But when you play those situational pins at home and you can hear the music and you get the light package along with it, I think those two things go together very well. And that's what makes the experience well worth it.
So, random side tangent, and it's because I've been reading up about this. Has been a hot topic on the Deadpool forum, but audio upgrades to your pinball machines. So, like Tom, do you do anything to your pinball machines in an audio way to improve the audio experience of your pinball machines?
I used to upgrade the speakers, but I don't necessarily do them on the newer Sterns anymore.
Okay.
Good. Maybe because the LEs already have the upgraded speakers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't tend to do it anymore. I haven't
Okay.
bought any of those mods, or I don't add a subwoofer to the bottom, which I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. Travis
But-
is shaking his head like a madman. He likes the sub.
he likes the subwoofer.
Yeah, I love subwoofers on a game. I think it totally changes it. I mean, if you have a Mandalorian, buy a subwoofer, put it on there. The game will be just meant to you. I mean, it's awesome hearing the music to that. I did the same thing with Star Wars. It was awesome. When I had Iron Maiden and I switched all the songs to hip hop and I put on a subwoofer with it, it's excellent. I mean, same thing with the Beatles. I mean, it just makes the sound just that much deeper, and it just feels immersive. I much prefer a subwoofer than I do a shaker motor, like 10 to
Yeah.
1 easily.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best modifications you can make to your gaming experience.
So,
And I'm not like a huge mod guy though.
yeah.
I modded the heck out of my Tron, but that's really the only game where I put a ton of mods into it.
That's fair. Drink up. So two things. First off, I'm a little disappointed for whatever reason, Travis. I really thought you'd say subwoofer in a really strange way. Like I just assumed that was a word that you couldn't pronounce. But
How'd you think I was going to pronounce
I don't know.
Subwoofer.
Oofer or woofer or something silly.
Woofer?
But I don't know. Hey, congrats. Way to speak the English language.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it.
But the second thing, so this is a really hot topic because there are some people that absolutely are like, you've got to add a sub to every game. The subs that are in the cabinet suck. Then there's entire companies like Pinwoofer. That's an entire company that adds an external amp. So it's like the built-in amp to a Stern game sucks. Like, so you're wasting your money increasing the speakers if you're not increasing the power that's being fed to the speakers. While other people are like, no, you don't have to spend $200+ on that. Just going from the 4.5-inch speakers to a 5 point something Kenwood or something, kind of the speakers that are NLEs, you're going to feel a drastic increase there. So this is a very hot topic. The reason I bring it up is, I add a headphone adapter to every game I play, and it's twofold. One, I stream. So when I stream, I do direct out. That way I can get the audio directly captured into the stream. And then two, when I'm streaming, I hear it in my headphones. But I typically play at night and my kids are asleep. So like the idea of adding a subwoofer to my cabinet, I just feel like it would be something I never feel like I could turn on. I did have one when I owned a Hobbit. This was before I had kids. I added a sub and it was awesome. Like hearing Smaug like talk, like rumbled. It was very cool. But I have really grown accustomed to wearing headphones, and it's amazing the audio that are in these games. Like the sounds that you hear and the call outs and the little noises in the background. Like it is sad to me that I feel like these audio engineers are putting in a ton of time. And I feel like 25% of what they put, nobody actually hears it unless you upgrade the speakers or unless you have headphones. I don't know. Have you guys noticed that? Have you guys experienced that?
No, it's 100%. I mean, the game experience becomes totally different if you hear it at home. So for anybody listening to this podcast, if you have a favorite game on location that you play a lot, I guarantee if you get it at home and you do, even if you don't do these upgrades, it's much different just playing at home, being able to hear everything and not having any of the distractions or external noise coming into play, just blocking whatever it is that you need to hear. But yeah, if you fix the game up to where the audio just is crisp, it's a unique experience. And I mean, I'm not much of I guess what would it be called, an audiophile? It's like, sure. I know the very basics of it, but I have a lot of friends that aren't pinball people that are audiophiles, and they've told me exactly what I need to do with the pin in order to get the most sound and the most bang for my buck. And surprisingly, it's really not that expensive, which is kind of shocking to me. But that being said, have I ever followed what they said? No, but I probably should, because I mean, even with just the subwoofer, it sounds great. I've never changed the speakers out because I've noticed that I guess on most of the Sterns, it's like a Kenwood that they use now. And I guess they've used JBL in the past. I'm not for sure. I know there's different types of speakers in the past, but I mean, overall, it seems like it's okay. But yeah, just once you get a subwoofer on, it changes everything. And if you get headphones on, it definitely changes everything, just because that audio just sounds so much more crisp. And it just, I don't know. I guess sometimes it feels like the sound just is just that much more immersive around you, to where you don't necessarily miss out on any of the little nuances and call outs or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. Tom's shaking his head. I think he agrees.
I agree.
There we go. See, we didn't
That's all
have
that matters.
We didn't have that last episode. I would have just started talking, but now you just gave, Travis a little bit of affirmation he needed. So appreciate
Killing
that.
it, Tom.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Tom.
I'm glad I'm here.
So after that, definitely, Tom. So after that short answer from Joel about Toy Story, so one of the things I was just coming back to, that whether or not it's going to be Toy Story 1 or if it's going to be all 4 movies put together, what I'm interested in with that is that would drastically alter the design, I feel like, because obviously if you're just focused on one movie, you're going to focus on the action that happened in that movie. The modes are going to reflect the action in that movie. But if you have all 4 movies, obviously your modes are going to be a lot more spaced out. So I'm very curious about that, because when it came to Star Wars, one of my biggest gripes about the Star Wars pin with Stern is that they tried to encompass the entire trilogy And it just made the whole experience from a narrative standpoint feel very disjointed.
Okay.
Because you'd be playing a scene from one movie that might happen in Empire or Return of the Jedi, and then the next thing you might be playing something from A New Hope. So I'm very curious to see how that's handled from the perspective that there's multiple movies out to draw from, and that each of those movies, the scenes really are in a certain chronological order. I mean, with Andy getting older, with new characters coming in, with characters going through certain experiences. I mean, that's what Toy Story was really good at from a narrative standpoint, is you actually felt like these characters were going through something new, like Buzz Lightyear coming in and being the fresh face, and Woody having to deal with that. And then you're dealing with new characters coming in each movie. So I don't know. For me, I'm curious to see how they deal with that, because I have it in my head that if the whole movie's just based off the first movie, right, or the whole pen is just based off the first movie, that you'd have like a giant crane hand going around because of the three little alien guys that were in the arcade.
The claw.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like that has to be in there no matter what, with that exact call out as well.
Yeah.
If that's not in there, I feel like that'd be a huge miss.
Travis ain't buying it. He's not going to buy it. Better be in there.
No, it better have the claw in
Done.
it. I mean, but there's so many iconic things of that movie, though, and that's and of the whole series, and that's going to be the rough part, that when you have such an iconic series, there's bound to be iconic portions of the series just left out.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see what gets left out, what gets put in, and that's really what I'm going to be paying attention to the most.
Tom, I feel like you had something.
Yeah, I was gonna call Travis K-Man. I think it's hard to do a linear pin though.
Yeah.
You know, as far as mapping the story out. I mean, look at Wonka. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it doesn't follow the movie scene by scene
In a chronological way, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really hard to do in a pinball scenario.
I think I would just like to see, again, I don't know how to code, so obviously I accept that it's very difficult. I'm just saying that I would like to see something to where maybe you can choose a path, right? Which path you want to go. Do I want to play the first movie? Do I want to play the second movie? Do I want to play the third movie? To where somehow you could choose that, whether it's early on, before hitting start, before whatever. Because there's games like, for instance, Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
We can pick what turtle we're going to use.
True.
So why can't we pick a movie, right, to where that determines your first couple of modes that you're going to play before a mini wizard mode? It puts you on a certain path that you go on. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that can't be done. I've just always wondered why something like that hasn't been done. But then it also harkens back that I've always wondered why in these pinball themes that come out with the movies and everything, why nobody's ever tried to just put, like, for instance, if Jersey Jack decided to do Toy Story 1, right? And that's the pin that came out this year. And then next year, Toy Story 2. And the following year, Toy Story 3, to where you have your pins in sequential order, to where you could get a fully fleshed out game and you get different
Travis,
takes on it.
I have money. I just don't have that much money.
I mean, yeah, we've had people say that, like, if they ever did Harry Potter, do you just do Harry Potter 1, or are you going to do 7 Harry Potter pins? I mean, like, what do you do? I don't know.
It would be too convoluted. I mean, it's kind of like Pirates. That's what happened with that. It was just from Jersey Jack. It was just so overwhelming with everything.
I'm just trying to think. When I think of Toy Story, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the movies, but essentially in Toy Story 1...
There's a cowboy doll in it.
Yeah, okay.
Spoiler.
In Toy Story 1, the villain is Sid, the next door neighbor, right? So it's like you could have an entire path, like, interacting. I mean, that whole storyline, the Sid storyline. In Toy Story 2, I'm pretty sure the bad guy is Emperor Zurg, right? Like, he's actually in the game. I think he's the bad guy, but I know Jesse's in there, and there's the whole, like, collector dude, because they meet the...
I don't even know if I've seen Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
It's kind of the movie everybody forgot about.
But, like, Zurg could absolutely be kind of a pathway. What else is there? There's, like, Toy Story... I don't even remember, but...
There's
each
a Toy
one
Story
had,
3.
Well, one of them has, like, the daycare, like the pink bear is like the
that's
bad
Toy
guy.
Story 3.
Yeah, that's Toy Story 3. That's a good one.
Toy Story 4, I don't remember like who the bad guy, like
I haven't
the
seen that
bad
either.
guy is, but there's enough of those other, there's plenty of other interactions there where the army men are going out to do surveillance, like that could be its own mode, like get the information, or like birthday, there's a birthday, what's the gift, like that could be a whole thing. I don't like obviously the scene at the end of Toy Story 1 where they're trying to catch up to the van. Like that is a very iconic scene where, you have to hit shots a certain way to progress to get back to Andy and the van. Pizza Planet alone could be its own mode of being in Pizza Planet and interacting with the different, like there's enough here that I think in 4 movies kind of like they could be kind of, you could do them out of order, but the escaping Sid's backyard would kind of have to, you can't just dive right into that. You'd have to work towards that. I don't know. I mean,
you got me convinced. They just need to do Toy Story 1. So
I think
hopefully
Toy Story
Jersey
1
Jack
there's
is
enough.
listening, and
Yeah.
if they put all 4 movies in, they'll just fix it for the next couple of weeks and just leave the first one in.
or they
That's
make
the
it
answer.
where you're saying give me a like, but at the same time, whatever, the Buzz Lightyear scene where he's put into the Spanish mode, like put into the wrong language, is
That would be
hilarious.
hilarious.
Like, I would be
Yeah.
so bummed if that's let out. Like that's such a great,
Yeah.
memorable thing. Spanish speaking Buzz Lightyear acting totally different. Like, I don't know. I mean,
That would be cool if they coded it to where you could just pick your movie at the very beginning, and then you just have your path picked out, and somehow that the inserts and the art just easily reflect being able to go from movie to movie.
Well,
I don't
look at
know.
Stranger Things. Stranger Things had a season 1 path
Mhm.
and a season 2 path. And you could play the different episodes essentially, but once you got far enough in there were many wizard modes specific to season 1. Like you could do the season 1 wizard mode before you do any of the episodes of season 2. Or you could do the opposite. Like there are ways to do it. It just
Now just
depends on what they
imagine if
wanna
you
do.
could pause the game and just watch the movie on the LCD screen, Tom.
Shoot. Yeah.
This is pinball.
Yeah, not watching a movie. I don't know. Well, we're excited about Toy Story. We don't have to. I mean, we're kind of in a wait and see situation. I do think it's happening sooner than later, though. Like, I do think, I don't know, like somewhere in June would be awesome.
No comment.
No comment. Okay. What I've heard is
July.
I can never confirm
August.
or deny. That's
September?
what I need to. That's the thing to say. I can
Could
never
be
confirm or
November of 2022.
I'm really glad you guys are good at listing months.
Didn't-
So well done.
Didn't some of these companies say that they were going to release 2 games
2.
this year?
Yep. Hey, the year's not over, Tom.
Which
Yeah.
company said they're releasing 2 games?
JJP has for years, and I think
That's
American Pinball.
American.
Yeah.
They've all for years said that they're going to release 2 games in 2022.
No, they've been saying like every year they're going to release 2
Oh.
games, and they
Well,
still
hey,
haven't.
eventually they'll be right. It'll happen
Yeah,
at some
eventually.
point.
All right, so Toy Story. So we knocked that out. Bam, done. Check. Yeah. I was going to say, and this is
Say
just
it.
we were talking about
Say
audio. All JJP owners, you have a headphone jack automatically in your game. Walk over, plug a set of headphones in, and play the game. You will hear stuff you haven't heard before. And if you like that experience, but you don't like wearing headphones, then maybe it is worth investing in better speakers in your game so that you can hear that more often. Otherwise, just enjoy the headphones. It's pretty great. 4, they recently shared on Pinside, or not on Pinside, on Facebook. There was a flood. There was a flood at Stern.
Oh, no.
Back to that rain that Travis was talking about. Yeah, I mean, none of us know to what impact, but this was. Well, I have to say thank you on our Facebook page. Feel free to find us and follow us on Facebook, Triple Drain Podcast. We had thrown out, and Instagram as well. We had thrown out like, hey, we're recording tonight. What do you guys want us to talk about? And we actually got a lot of people that threw some stuff out. And there was a person that mentioned the Stern flood. Do we feel like this is going to affect games coming out? I would assume yes. As far
Yes.
as I know, the flood wasn't like, hey, one of our main water pipes that ran across our entire factory burst and sprayed water over everything we own. It wasn't that. It seems like it's more like a standing water type of flood. So I don't know. I don't know if they have games in boxes and there's a chance that it got high enough that it ruined those. I don't know if. I would hope that most of these games are high, being built, or the assembly lines are high enough off the ground that standing water. isn't ruining things. But if there truly is standing water in a factory, they're going to have to get that out before people can work in a safe manner. So it may have not destroyed games, but it may have delayed games.
As far as I know, as of this podcast, they updated earlier that they said that it was a water pipe that burst under the ground. So, or underneath the floor. And
okay.
I know that the picture that they put out, it's on their Facebook, and you could see people in the background, I guess, eating. They just happen to be there taking their lunch break with Uncle Gary giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, like nothing's going on.
Yeah,
I'm on my lunch break. I don't care if the place is flooding.
But there was no water around, so it
just
looked
wear
like
your
it was
boots.
okay.
Yeah, if you want to jump in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots. That would be a Peppa Pig quote for all the parents out there.
What?
Yeah.
I'm lost on that one too.
Yeah.
Did you just
It's
make
for
a
the
Peppa
little
Pig?
kids. That's truly Peppa Pig. It's a kid's show, but they preach
Yes.
that if you want to jump in muddy puddles,
Okay,
you must
great.
wear your boots,
You've
which is
covered
great.
a 4 to 6 year old demographic. Good job, Joel.
They're not. Listen, parents, Travis. Some of us enjoy parenting our children, so you do.
That's what Monica's for.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That's what the pinball machines are for. That's the babysitter right there.
All right. So flooded stern. I don't know. Is it going to slow them down? Maybe. But I mean, they
For
can
like
get rid
a
of water.
Yay.
For
I mean, they got some squeegees out. They got the water out. It's fine. Everybody's eating in the waiting area. Gary
They're
Stern's
good.
giving a thumbs up. I mean,
They're
it's
still
all
giving
fixed. It's
tours.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. They'll still get
floors-
games out before Raza comes out. I mean, it's good. We're good.
The floors have never looked better. They're nice and clean now. All right.
Exactly.
Well, we did actually have a lot of people that responded with questions, and a lot of them were actually about like current pinball pricing, prices of used games, pinball bubble. I mean, really broad topic here, but pinball prices.
I've heard the bubble's gonna burst for the last 10 years.
For the last 10. I mean, it's just getting bigger and bigger. I've talked a lot. Travis, what are your thoughts on pinball prices? Like, do you have any new thoughts?
He can't comment.
Do I have any thoughts on pinball pricing?
Like, is that a fear? Do you fear that we are at an all-time high and it's going to pop? Or somebody had mentioned apparently like the stock market or crypto is kind of taking a dip recently.
I don't.
Is pinball to
it's-
follow?
So, I mean, if we're in a bubble and it quote unquote pops, I don't think that means the prices on games from Stern, American Pinball, Jersey Jack, or whoever else is producing games, those prices don't fall. I think all that means is that third party market would have a little bit rougher time. I think it just means that people that are wanting to flip a game might have a little bit more difficult time. But overall, the reality is that unless all of a sudden inflation just stops and somehow we all get in a time machine and go back 3 years, I mean, where's the pricing going to go?
Yeah.
Because the materials still cost what they cost now. Shipping still costs what it costs now. I mean, shipping prices have gone way up just in the past 4 months alone. I mean, if anybody's been paying attention, those have gone up considerably. So, I mean, these prices really don't have anywhere to go. So, I mean, all that's going to happen is that people decide to stop buying games a little bit, right? But
Sure.
I don't think that that's going to affect Stern as much. There's a reason why Stern went up to 1,000 games for LEs. There's a reason why they're producing more games than ever before, because there's tons of buyers out there, and there's a lot of people that have entered the hobby since 2020. I mean, it's not just people. I mean, pre-COVID, yeah, we were humming pretty good. Ignore that, Joel. It's coming right back on.
You can't ignore the fact your camera. You suck at technology, Travis. Like, it is unbelievable how bad you are with your technology.
Why are we not recording
Yeah.
this?
I mean, if people want to look at a black screen for Travis's face, then sure, let's do a video podcast. Yeah.
All right, please
Travis and
ignore
his
those two
moo-moo.
idiots.
Thank God
But,
Tom Ustream tournaments and not Travis. That's all I can say. Yeah.
But what
Someday,
I'm getting
maybe.
at is
Uh,
I don't think the prices are going to go down for
Yeah.
Neon Box. That's just not going to happen. I think if anything, prices are just going to keep going up because they have to keep pace with what material costs are and with what costs are all overall. I mean, salaries are going up for people, so wages are going up. You have all these soft costs that I know people aren't thinking about, but the fact is that manufacturing pinball at scale is not cheap. There's nothing cheap about it. So I think the only thing that you'll see affect it overall is just third party market. I think that that's the main thing that you'll see. And yeah, that's my TED talk. Thanks for coming.
You know, there are moments where you actually sound kind of smart. So
Till my
yeah,
camera goes out.
you said like I didn't say you look smart. I said you sounded smart. So
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know, Tom. You've been in this hobby longer than both of us. I mean, what is this? Is this like a fear? Do you feel like you've been on a roller coaster, or like I don't know? Have you? Are you? Do you feel like there's a time to cash out, or what? I mean,
No, when I first got into this hobby, it was almost dead. So I mean, it was a good time to buy used games, honestly. But I mean, yeah, I mean, when I got into this hobby, probably the year after that was when Stern almost went under.
huh?
And that was around the time of Big Buck Hunter and Avatar and Iron Man. And I don't see that happening. I could see maybe some companies closing their doors, but I who knows? I mean, I don't think anybody ever thought Williams would close or not do pinball, and
Yeah.
look what happened there. So, I mean, it just depends on the economy and everything, but I don't think I don't have a fear of it at this point. I mean, pinball's really really skyrocketed and
Yeah.
in sales and even recognition. I mean, it's not huge, but in the mainstream world, but it's certainly bigger than it has been.
There's ebb and flow to everything. And what I can say is that the ones that are listening to this podcast and the ones that consume content online, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or audio, that the industry and the hobby is so much bigger. There's so many people out there that don't bother consuming any of this content. They don't bother getting on forums. They don't bother getting on Facebook groups. And it's just from what I've seen, I would gladly predict that the majority of people do not consume content in that fashion that are into pinball, whether they're buying pinball or whether they're going on location to play pinball. I mean, there's a reason why if you go to a place like TPF, you saw it, Joel.
Yeah.
How many people were just there?
Yeah.
I mean, even though that was a big tournament, right, with TPF or with the Wizards tournament and all that, it seemed like the majority of people were all in the vendor hall, and that's, I mean, even Expo, you guys kind of got a glimpse of everybody that was out there. So, I mean, and that's just the thing. It's just easy for all of us to kind of get stuck in our own little ecosystem and our own little bubble because we're all used to living and breathing pinball. And the reality is there is so many people out here that play pinball and they own pinball, but they may not live and breathe it. I mean, it's the same way. I have an Xbox. I have a PlayStation. I don't go on Xbox forums every single day. I have a camera.
Day.
I have a camera that I try to use.
Yeah,
Obviously,
maybe you should go on some
I don't go on any forums to
Yeah,
figure out how it works properly. So there you go. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, people will collect, people will still play, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they engage with the actual community. And I think that's what a lot of people don't necessarily realize, that because of that, the actual engagement within the community doesn't necessarily accurately represent the amount of people that enjoy the hobby outside of that.
Yeah, I absolutely think you're right. I know when I started the hobby, I've passed my 5-year mark. That way I can actually do media. And early on, I was hoping that like I have some realtor friends that like maybe I'd get lucky when they're showing a house or seeing a house. They'd see a pinball machine in a garage or something and be like, hey, feel free to give out my number or something. Like, maybe I'll get lucky. I'll get a random garage sale find or something. I'll be able to find that. I feel like pinball is big enough. I mean, Tom had a little news, video of him. It's growing enough for becoming popular enough that the people that may have a pinball machine in their basement at this point with COVID, especially with spending so much time in their house, may have actually looked it up or looked at the price. And the used market is the biggest market I don't see those deals out there. I don't see those. I mean, there probably still some out there, but that's the biggest market. And I mentioned that earlier, that I was thinking, oh yeah, my parents could be able to spend, like $2,500 and get a real, kind of a beat up taxi, but we put a little money in it and they're going to have a fully playable game. Like, no way. Like, even a beat up taxi now, you're pushing $4,000. I mean, it's just, and that's US dollar, but it's just absurd. So the way that I look at my collection is, I mean, if you look at your collection as an investment and you're like, well, it's nice that I can play these games, but at some point in time, I'm happy to cash out and make bank, then fine. I mean, cash out today, you're going to make more money than you made before, but is there a chance that things are going to go up? Probably, but I hope you don't look at your collection that way. I look at it more as, this is my collection. If there's a chance that 2 years from now, my TNA or my Deadpool or Turtles is going to be worth, $1,000 less than it does today, whatever, it's still going to be equal though to other games in that area. So I'm not looking to cash out of the hobby. If anything, if I go to sell a game, it's because I want to replace it with something else. So I'm happy to ride the value up and down because it doesn't matter. Like, I can still trade it towards another game. Like, I'm just glad I have games. Like, I'm glad I have games that I can swap around at whatever value they are. It doesn't matter to me, compared to somebody brand new in the hobby, that it's like, does it make sense for me to try to pay premium price now, or should I wait for the bubble to burst and then try to buy a game? That kind of thing.
I think the bubble, bursting thing is more so, games that, Stern has in their backlog that haven't come out, and people are selling them on the secondary market for more than a new one box. Well, once those games become available again, obviously the price of the skyrocketing of people selling them secondhand is going to go down.
Well, what's weird with that thought, because the first thing that popped in my head was like Avengers. When Avengers first came out, and everybody was like, this game's great. Like, it became a really hot game. People wanted it. So people were buying them. They were buying them over MSRP, or they were buying them used over MSRP because they could get them now. They could have them right now. Well, Avengers has been out a little while, and now there are distributors that have them in stock. You could buy them today. So in my mind, it's like, oh, you can buy it at MSRP. It won't be over MSRP. But
Right.
that's not necessarily true, because the games today, the MSRP of that game is higher than it was when the game came out.
That's true
So
too.
It's
where all buzzwords, Joel. You'll figure that out. When it comes down to brass tacks, it all becomes buzzwords. I mean, and that's exactly what happens with people predicting a bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that, but what does it really mean in terms of pinball? Does that mean that pros all of a sudden become $5,000 overnight?
No.
Like new unbox? Does that mean LEs go down to 8,000? So that's why I think when people talk about a pinball bubble, I think we're very much talking about the third party market, and we're not talking about new unbox. Because even when the economy takes a downturn, which we're kind of seeing that with how the stock market's going and everything, the people that aren't going to stop buying games for their game room is people that already have a lot of money in the bank. They value their time at home, they value game rooms at home, and they value entertainment at home. And I think everybody learned a harsh lesson during the COVID times, during all the lockdowns, that we all realized, well, wait a second, it can actually be taken away from us simply going outside under certain circumstances, which I think was a wake-up call for a lot of people, that maybe they put a premium on what they have at home. And we all realize that one of those premiums happens to be pinball as a form of entertainment. And I know the argument's gone back and forth over console gaming and pinball and this and that, but let's call a spade a spade. Playing pinball is just cool. It's just fun. And it gives you an experience that no console game, whether it's 4K on an 80-inch TV, can give you. And a lot of people have discovered that. And a lot of people are realizing the themes that they loved as a kid, whether it's the Avengers comics or whether it's Star Wars or any type of music pen. Even music pens, they hold their value very well over time because there's still going to be music fans. And just like we talked about before, Joel, when people enter pinball, they're discovering all these themes for the first time. They don't realize Metallica's been out for nearly a decade. They don't realize AC/DC has been out for over a decade. They don't realize Star Trek has been like that. They just see these themes and it's the first time they've seen them. So there's always going to be a market for new people coming in regardless. I think just what we'll see is a downturn in the third party market. I think you'll see some solid state games finally level off with the pricing. I think you'll see EMs come back down to earth to where you're not going to see the $1,500 to $2,000 EMs that you see some people putting out. I think you'll see those level off a little bit. And I think that's what to really expect. So if I was in a buying mood and I had to make a prediction right now, I would say I would be trying to save back my money for certain solid states and certain EMs that I had my eye on, and I'd be ready to pull the trigger in due time. That's the way I'd be looking at it.
So you're saying like I've mentioned Taxi a few times. Taxi is a game that I love. Is today the day to buy a Taxi? In my opinion, probably not. Like if I don't mind waiting, there's a good chance it's already old. So if you have to wait a year and there's a chance that sure that bubble burst and now all of a sudden my Taxi's cheaper, you can get it then. But I don't like for the people that are new or want to get in on this hobby, I don't have a cheap solution for you. I don't have a good recommendation other than if you can afford to buy new in box. If you hate the game, you're going to be able to sell it and not lose money.
Well, the key is if you take it from the standpoint that it's not an investment, because I know there's a lot of people out there that view pinball as an investment. Myself, I don't view pinball as an investment. I view it as a toy that I bring into my house to have fun with. And sometimes it'll cost a little bit more to get it right then and there. It's the same way if a movie comes out, I'm not going to wait 45 days for it to come out on streaming. I'm going to go ahead and take the family and pay the $60-$80 it costs us to go to the movies because I want to watch that movie.
Yeah.
I want that satisfaction right then and there. So I think if it comes down to if you do have the funds and it's within your budget, because I'm not going to tell people to go way over their budget and just make a stretch. Like definitely don't make sacrifices for it that
take
put
out
you in a bad
loan.
position. Yeah,
Put it
exactly.
on a credit card,
But I would say that if you happen to have the budget and you find a game that you really want to play, I mean, I'm the type that just says, just pull the trigger, have fun playing it. And once you're done, sell it for whatever the market deems is worthy. If you happen to lose $500 off it, well, guess what? Probably in that year or 2 years, you had more than $500 worth of fun. I don't think you're worrying it too much about it. Because if you're worried about how much your pin is worth and all this and that, I don't know. I'm not going to say you're in it for the wrong reasons because everybody has their own view of how they like to do the hobby. And some people like playing that game to where they don't want to lose any money. And it's like a badge of pride. Me, I'm the type of guy that sold a Ghostbusters Pro at $4,400 a few years ago.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I just enjoy playing pinball. And I would just encourage anybody out there that if you have a dream theme and it's within your budget and you're looking at it and it's right there, like, why not? Why wait a year on a what if? Because what if it doesn't come to fruition? What you're hoping happens? What if prices go higher? Now what do you do? Now you're sitting on the sidelines even longer.
Your pin isn't going to be, well, I mean, there's exceptions, right? But like the majority of pins out there, it's not like even if the economy tanks, your pin isn't now worth half of what you paid for it. Like it'll take a dip. It's not going to be drastic. And I just think the biggest issue right now in pinball is scarcity. There's not enough games. So it's not like all of a sudden everybody's going to be selling and it's like, oh, there's too many people. There's too much. There's no demand. I'm not an economy expert, but luckily, go ahead.
No, I was going to say in the 12 plus years I've been in the hobby, maybe even longer than that. Holy crap. It's been like 14 years. But in the time I've been in the hobby, I've never really seen games like tank in value except for one. And that was Medieval Madness. Well, and maybe Attack from Mars when the remakes were made.
Yeah.
But now you can't get the remakes and then the price went back up.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, I mean, yes, the prices don't necessarily go down. Much.
But so all the remake games, so Monster Bash as well, and then Cactus Canyon, and then Fathom. Fathoms used to be crazy expensive.
The only exceptions to that were new in box games, because as soon as you opened them, the price would drop in value as soon as you started playing it. Yeah, that's not the case now.
Not anymore. Yeah.
No.
And especially with
it
LEs,
could get back to that.
It could, but I think that's crazy about like if you actually want to look at a smart financial decision, like a Stern LE, almost every LE, even like opened and played, is selling for more than whatever you paid for it. Like it's insane. It's
Right.
absolutely insane.
You got to make an effort to lose money on an LE this day and age. You got to make a pretty good effort.
But then again, because of Joel, the price of Halloweens have dropped.
Exactly.
Yeah, because of Joel.
My bad.
Way to go, Joel.
My bad.
I know. Pinball prices are definitely a topic, and I think it's a valid topic, but it's also one of those I don't know just because I'm not in that personally in this right now, where it's like you have money and you feel like, do I pull the trigger now or should I wait, or do I need to save, or what? I don't know. I'm not in that. I'm not playing that game in my head. Or do you have a game that you're like, I want to sell it, but does it make sense to sell today? Or should I?
I mean, there's just as much value in just taking your money too, and just taking a trip to one of these pinball meccas and just playing for a weekend and getting to play every version of different games that you've never gotten a chance to play before.
Absolutely.
I mean, that right there. I mean, there's a lot of value in that too, and it might open up your eyes to something different that you weren't expecting to enjoy, that you never got a chance to play.
So I absolutely agree with that. By the way, if you have the chance to play games, play the games. And you're going to find, I mean, that's what my view on pinball has changed drastically over the 5+ years I've been in it, because I've played games and found certain games really appeal to me that I wasn't expecting, or there's games that didn't and now do. Yeah. But one example I do want to bring up is my neighbor. They have a golf cart, and they go around the neighborhood in it all the time. And I remember I asked them, was like, hey, just like I was like, how much did that cost you? Because he bought it used, and he's put in a little money upgrading it or whatever. And we live in a cool neighborhood where there's a bunch of stuff we could drive to within golf cart.
Do you have the spinners? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, he didn't. It's
stereo.
He does have a stereo in it, but it's not even the bells and whistles. I just like the idea of being able to drive to the supermarket and back in a golf cart. It sounds pretty great. But anyways,
let's drive golf carts in the neighborhood. Awesome.
It's so cool. I know you're mocking it, but it's awesome.
No, I agree. No, I'm not mocking it. I'm saying it's awesome.
Okay. Thank you for the support. I need it. And he's thumbs down. Thank you. Yeah, you're real cool there. So anyways, the golf cart I just asked me, he's like, I think I have like $3,600 in it. Well, apparently his neighbor went to the same place that he had bought his used just a month ago. So he said 4 years ago, he bought it for $3,600. Today, if he bought essentially the exact same thing, $6,800. Like, it has doubled in price for the exact same thing, like a used golf cart. So obviously pinball isn't the only place that's experiencing this. Pretty much all recreational things, I would assume, I don't know. I'm assuming pools have gone up, swing sets, any recreational home thing has gone up. But I don't know. I'm not in the golf cart business where I want to buy a bunch now and then sell them in a year and cash out. No, I don't know. Just what is cool about this is
we should go flip golf carts.
Flip golf carts, yeah.
Where are all the toppers? What happened to the Mando and
they're not out yet?
Godzilla and Rush.
You're ready to buy all of them. I know. Especially the Rush one.
Well, Tom, if you listen to our last podcast, we actually established that toppers bring a lot of value to the game, and how Joel got his Deadpool topper.
Thursday, the Deadpool topper will be here when Zach comes to flip out the game. So I'll give a good review. It'll be great.
We need a golf cart with a topper. Give it to Joel.
I think it's just
a golf cart topper.
Most golf
Why would
carts
you drive a golf cart without any golf clubs? That's what I want to know.
I don't even want to entertain your question because it's awesome. It's awesome.
What do you do with a golf cart in your neighborhood?
This is like the Johnny Depp trial.
What, you got to drive? You have to drive to pick up food. So why would I get in the minivan,
just
and
use
just
your car?
Go?
Why would you?
Because it's not fun. Why do people ride motorcycles or any other? Why do people
you guys
buy a Jeep
roll
and
up
take
to
the doors
Brahms
off?
or Sonic or McDonald's with the golf cart?
Have you seen the gas prices?
It's an electric golf cart. I can whiz over there. I'm telling you, the joy that were on my kid's face.
Elon Musk over here with the golf cart. Yeah, apologies.
And his Tesla golf cart.
His Tesla golf cart.
If you want to have,
does it have an LCD in that golf cart?
I just want 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
I just want to feel the wind blowing up my shorts as I'm flying up.
I have one question about the golf cart. Does it have Does it have a cooler in it?
I mean, we could put a cooler in it. I haven't bought a golf cart. It's just a thought of being able to putz
you're
over
thinking
there.
about buying a golf cart.
I am, because I love the
Have you
idea
asked
of
your
throwing
neighbor
my
to take
kids in
his
there.
for a
and-
test drive?
I
Have you
have.
been like, hey, neighbor, you have?
I have. And what's great is my
Did
wife.
he let you do it?
Yeah. He's like, you've driven a golf cart before. Here, hand me the keys. My son, my 2-year-old son, sat next to
Joel
me.
crashes.
And
Even
my
in
wife.
those pants, he let him drive the golf cart.
My
It's
wife,
amazing. There's a lot of trust going
yeah,
on.
I went faster in these pants. I'll tell you. My wife and my daughter sat in the back, and my wife the
Okay.
whole time I'm driving is like, "Yeah, Autumn, your dad doesn't realize how bumpy it feels back here. Yeah, Autumn, your dad doesn't realize when he turns that sharply that we almost fly off. You know, like making being
Damn,
typical.
she was just going like straight up passive aggressive
Oh,
towards
yeah.
you, wasn't she?
Oh,
Yeah.
she wasn't talking to me. She
Joel's
wasn't talking to me.
on-
She was
Oh, yeah.
talking to Autumn. So and then
Joel's on
Autumn's
2
going,
wheels.
"Yeah, Daddy."
Joel was just hitting all bumps. Each bump, he just goes,
in the
that's
middle
fair.
of the road.
That's fair.
So she's going, "Daddy, slower," while Calvin, my 2-year-old's going faster the whole time. So,
So what'd
I'm
you end up
focusing on
doing?
his job. I
You
just
This is
Florida.
where we find out which kid is your favorite right
I
now.
drove
What'd you end up
the
doing?
same speed. I rode the fence. Isn't that your thing? I didn't change. I felt like
Damn.
I was driving a safe, comfortable speed.
There's like 2,000 people listening to this right now being like,
No.
yep, that sounds like Joel.
Yeah, safe, just safe and true. Bam, right down. I had a
Just
great
stayed
time.
My same speed.
Had a
I ignored
great time.
both of my kids equally. Yep.
Faster. Hey, they all had a good time. Everybody, but I think my wife had a great time. But even still, she's like, I
Story
could
of
see
your
the golf
life,
cart. Everybody except for my wife. Yeah, perfect. Well done. That was good. I actually
Thank you.
applaud you on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Tom, I'm glad you're back to listen to this and referee
you.
this.
I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm here.
It's all for the smiles. Well, Tom, I could actually use your help on this because one of
Okay.
the other questions was, we, believe it or not, do a lot of tournament talk on this podcast, and I think we do forget that we get new listeners. We get people that are new to the hobby, and there's essentially slang that we use that some people don't understand. So we're just kind of rapid fire. We're going to blow through some of this, but we'll just start off at the beginning. A Whopper. We talk about
Yes.
people being Whopper hungry, all about the Whoppers. We're not talking about a Burger King sandwich. So
They're delicious.
Tom, I know you love the Whoppers. You have a lot of them. That's why you're ranked pretty high in the world.
Yeah, but
so-
Travis is ranked higher than I am.
Yeah. I'm not talking to Travis. So, Tom, Whoppers, can you please explain? Can you please explain what Whoppers are?
It's an abbreviation for World Pinball Player Rankings.
Okay.
So they're basically points you get by attending tournaments. So if you win a tournament, you get more points, and then it's like a sliding scale down to the last person.
Gotcha.
The last person gets nothing.
And so, speaking of which, Travis, so the Whopper.
That's a great
So-
segue.
So people are Whopper hungry, but the and he's flipping off the camera. I'm glad your camera was on, so that worked. Good for you. But like winning a Travis, when he's dominating these tournaments in Oklahoma, they weren't worth much, right? Like tournaments are worth more, or you get more Whoppers based on the people you're playing, right? I mean, that's
Right, based on the strength of the players. Yeah. So there's a ranking, there's a rating, and I think there's one other metric that goes into it that basically it puts a value on each player that's within a tournament.
Okay.
Is how it happens. And so that value adds up to whatever first place is going to equal, and then it just, like Tom said, it just scales down from there. And the whole tournament value is based off your TGP, your total games played, which is further, just if you want to get really nerdy, that's basically just a bunch of mathematics based off the amount of players you have and the format you play, and that equals out to a percentage of your
Okay.
TGP and your overall value of said tournament. And if that is all confusing, just go to ifpapinball.com, go to the resources drop down, and then I think it's like the third to the bottom to where it says TGP guide. You can look on there.
So
an
you don't,
explanation.
Or just ask Greg Pavarelli.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Greg can explain it very well. Yep.
But you guys technically, you don't know what. Technically, you won't know the exact number of Whoppers you would potentially win at a tournament before you enter it. Like you have the tournament has to.
Sort of.
Yeah,
There's
a little bit.
Well,
There's
if you know
ways to
who's
figure it out.
playing, right? Like that's the key, right? Like
That's
you,
Yeah.
it really depends
Yeah.
on who played in it, and then what format and all that. So it's a lot of that's important. But then somebody else does the math, right? I mean, somebody else is doing the math and then sticking it on the website. Like it's not like Travis is calculating his
No, this
Whopper
is
total as he
it's
plays.
all metrics done.
If Travis
by
was
IFBA.
calculating, he'd be number one.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be world champion.
Yeah. So there you go. So there's the Whopper, and then
Two-time defending world champion.
and then I think there were a few other ones. Just so we're talking buzzwords or something. So pump and dump. So real quick, there are different tournament formats out there. So Travis, pump and dump. You want to explain that in a short, bite-sized way?
Sure. That's just a herb tournament, which just means
What's
that
herb?
you.
You just said a buzzword.
My
It's
gosh.
a best game tournament.
Yes,
Herb.
there we
Well,
go.
why is it
Best game.
herb?
Because it's named after somebody.
I'm assuming herb.
Yep, there you go. You're
Okay.
a right one.
Got
Okay,
it.
so moving forward, best game tournament, right?
Okay.
So you have X amount of pins in front of you. It could be like 5, 10, 15, whatever. And however many games the tournament director decides is going to go towards your qualifying, you're basically either allowed to, if you hear unlimited herb, it means you can play each game as many times as you desire up until the qualifying's done. So whatever time frame there is. Whereas if it's limited, you can only play each game whatever the limit is. So if you have, say, 20 plays for 8 qualifications, obviously you need to still qualify on 8 pins, but you only got 20 plays total to do it in.
So
Okay.
if you have a big
that's what a pump and dump
wallet,
is.
you can continue to play. You can-
Yeah, so pump and dump wouldn't necessarily
For
be
unlimited.
limited. It would just be like full on, like just keep on rocking it out. And yeah, you definitely hear from a lot of people that say, well, only the players that buy in the most will qualify, this and that, but that's
That's not
not
true.
necessarily true. That might be good for like 1 or 2, but typically the players that you see there, I mean, they're very good. And I personally like pump and dumps from the perspective that you can basically lay out your own way to make finals to
Yep.
where you can go anytime that you want. You can take a break when you need it. And then on top of that, it actually, to me, makes finals more exciting because most everybody in the finals knows how the games are playing. They're aware of the bounces. They're aware where the tilt is. So you just see a lot more competitive games in that nature to where the scores tend to trend up a little bit more, which is why I really enjoy the herb style
Okay.
I
or
agree.
pump and dump.
Pump and dump. All right. And then another one was pin golf. So explain pin golf. Tom, you can do that.
Oh, why do I have to do everything?
Because you're a smart
Tom
man.
hates pin golf, Joel. Didn't
No,
you notice?
I actually like pin golf.
I know you love pin golf. This is all
Yeah.
you, Tom.
I,
do
I
it.
can't get Eric to do it though. Since
Thorin, you got to do pin golf.
2020. Except
Would
for
people
pin-
like a pin golf at D82?
I think they
think they would?
would because we've
they
done
would?
it twice.
I wonder if they'd like a pump and dump at D82.
I think they would really like a pump and dump at
What if
District
we did
82.
a pin golf pump and dump? Has that ever been done before?
I don't think it has.
I will tell you
I don't
though,
know how
as
you
a
do that.
as a viewer on stream,
I know. I just locked up my brain.
I like pin golf. Like
Okay.
so
well,
go
let
ahead
me
and explain
explain
it,
what
but I
pin
like
golf-
it. I like pin golf. I like
All
seeing
right.
it and watching it.
Joel likes pin
So-
golf
I
and
do.
turtles.
So
Good. We're
for
on the right
pin
track.
golf, there's usually an objective, which is score, and you have to basically get that score in a number of balls, and you want to try to do that in one ball, so you get a hole in one. So let's say you're playing, I don't know, let's say you're playing Rush, and the score to get is 250 million. You have to do that in ball one. So, and if you don't do it in ball one, you just keep playing, and then usually in tournaments, if it's set to 3 ball, your 4th ball, if you didn't reach the objective, you get a 4, or there's like a range of scores. So, it'll be like 250 to 200 million is you get a 4, and then another 50 million down, you get a 5, and so on. And Travis's camera just went out
Just
again.
went out. So
I
good.
went into the hazard.
So
Joel, that's a golf reference, Joel.
The
He's in the
tournament
bunker.
that the IFPA runs, Pin Masters, which is usually with nationals, is pin golf, and that's
Nice.
a lot of fun. I like
I
that
like-
tournament.
I like it because it's You could do pin golf though as well. Not, it doesn't have to be score based, right?
No,
Like,
you
it
can
can
do
be an
objectives.
objective. Yeah.
That's what
which
makes
is-
it a lot of fun is
Yeah.
you could do both objectives and score. So it might force you to play a game much differently than you would in a pump and dump or
And
in a
we've-
match play situation.
And
So,
we've
yeah, it
done
makes it a lot
that
of fun,
on stream with the pin skins.
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun. Yep.
Yes.
It is, in my opinion, it's the best. It's like one of my favorite streams to watch because it's very clear. Like there's no guesswork of what the person's trying to do. It's like, oh, they're at, what are you? What? Go ahead, Travis.
I just had the best idea ever, and I got to say this out loud before I lose this. Tom, I just had this idea of pin skins with Joel, Drew, Josh, and who else is a podcaster that plays pinball, but not necessarily competitive all the time.
I think every podcaster. I would hope
Pineda.
that. Oh.
Well, yeah,
Zach Manny.
Zach
Zach
Minnie's,
Minnie.
yeah, okay.
That foursome right there, trying to play in pin skins with the hardest pins possible.
Oh, goody.
I want to announce that. I'm just putting
Okay.
it out there right now.
All right,
Hey,
we
I
can,
want
make,
that
we can
throwdown.
make that happen.
But that I'd probably play in that because to be honest, like that to me is I like that idea, this objective based thing where it's just like, okay, I understand instead of trying to like do something crazy or blow up like Rush to get 250 million. There's a lot you have to do to get to 250 million in Rush. But if you give me
Have you
an
done that
objection,
before?
I have. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. I'm just making sure.
But it's
You were
not like
talking-
that's not every game, and that's remember I'm on easy mode over here with my with my outlanes tight. So I don't know. It's I like that idea. I like that format where it's like okay, or you can do pin golf and you can do like head to head. Like I know Carl with IE Pinball will stream that. Like they get two of the exact same machine.
That
they
is
do-
really
they-
fun
yeah.
to watch.
They do very simple objectives, you know,
Yep.
first to this multi-ball, ready, go. And it could
Yep.
be 15 seconds and it's fast and then obviously Stern, or never mind, Carl does it with, what's it called? His
Clash.
Pin Clash. Same thing, like head to head.
hair dryer.
Just,
See, I wish some of these companies would incorporate that into their pins. So like, you know how Dwight does like the impossible mode and you know, different things. That would be really cool. Here's a list of objectives and you need to do it and it's like a speed run.
well, I mean,
Yep.
even in Turtles with Insider Connected, there are like the modes within Turtles. There's one achievement to start the mode. There's one achievement to complete the mode, but then he has a third achievement of completing it in a set amount of time.
Okay.
So now you still have to like play the game. So you'd still have to set up the mode and play it. But and I mean, it would be cool if you could somehow just start the game and warp straight to that mode. If you really wanted to do a time trial kind of thing, I don't know. I mean, there's with Insider Connected, the possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah,
Or Scorebit, right?
I fully believe at some point that'll be implemented on Stern pinball machines.
Well,
I mean, that just seems like the
fucking
low
better,
hanging
'cause
fruit.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
That just
It should
seems
be
like the
good.
most obvious thing to put on there. If you're going to have head-to-head events or you're going to have leaderboards or something like that, time-based stuff. I mean,
Well, if you're gonna
that's-
have objectives,
What is
yeah.
it? What is it obvious to them? That's my question.
I
gotta
I think
be.
it's
As-
obvious.
as
yeah.
much as they put into just the overall software and everything, I would
Yeah.
have to think that that would be something that they would implement.
Yeah, it would.
I would be shocked if they didn't.
We've talked about Insider Connected a lot, and we all agree there's endless potential there, and there's a lot of stuff. Now, where
Tom's just waiting.
Yeah,
where
let's
on
go.
Tom is-
he's
Sick
Tom
of
is
these
on his-
achievements. I need more.
yeah, he needs
He's on
more.
his throne, just twiddling his thumbs. He's like, "I'm ready."
Give me more. Well, I don't know. Is there any other terms that you feel like you guys, like as tournament players, you throw out that we should probably clarify real quick? That you
That
can
would
think of?
be a Stephen Bowden question.
Yes.
He's
Okay.
the king of the pinball dictionary. I mean,
Gotcha.
maybe when we have him on here, we
Yeah,
can
go
go
on
over.
go on Fun with Bonus and check out
Mhm.
his pin dictionary.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, there's tons of terms on there.
I would say we're approaching the 2 hour mark. There were some really good questions, so we kind of summarized a bunch of them. So if we didn't get to your question, let us know. I think we'll probably get used to doing that. That was really nice getting questions. But you can always email us at tripledrain@gmail.com if there's anything specific you want us to discuss.
And Travis will ignore them.
Yeah, well, Travis doesn't know how to read, so we don't give him access to emails. Yeah, but I don't know. We can probably. Was there anything else, you guys? I had a 7th point, and I wrote the pinball show, and all I wanted to say is Zach and Dennis. the next episode is episode 100, which was technically supposed to be today.
But
We're
this is
recording this on
17
Monday
for
the
us.
9th. Yeah, we're getting there. But it was supposed to be today, but he said it's going to be 2 weeks. So I think he's going big. And he mentioned some format changes. We have no idea what those are. But in the meantime, there was a new podcast. Dr. John has started I think it's the Aussie Pinball podcast, where he's kind of filling us in about the world of pinball in Australia, which is pretty neat. So obviously we're trying to put this out for you guys. So we'll see what's going to happen in the pinball podcasting realm over the next 2 weeks. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if a reveal happens sooner than later, maybe we'll record another one and talk about our reactions to it. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the pinball show. Hope everybody's looking forward to that episode 100, which should be a good time. But yeah, was there anything else that either of you guys want to talk about? We can go back to making fun of Travis's hoodie.
It's a wearable blanket, Joel.
What was it marketed at? Where'd you buy it?
what is
Amazon
it?
or what?
A
Like, what's its
Snuggie?
name?
Is it a Snuggie?
You know what? I'm not going to tell you guys because I know deep down you guys want to buy one now.
Hey, yeah.
You're going to have to look it up
good.
yourself.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Regular blanket's fine.
Travis, you buy me one and I'll buy your Triple Drain merch. How about that? You buy me one of those things.
There you go.
And I'll buy you
Seems
some,
like a fair trade.
I'll
Why
buy you
don't
some
just-
Triple Drain merch.
No, Travis, just buy yourself a new one and give him your used one.
I don't want that fart-filled quilt of whatever it is. I don't want it.
Well, so what it's actually called, if you really want to know,
Hey, we're
it's
plugging.
called it's called the Comfy.
Oh,
That's what it's
Lord.
called. It was on Shark Tank.
The Comfy. All
The
right.
Comfy. Yeah, it's literally called the Comfy.
Everybody's
It's an
checking these out.
oversized microfiber wearable blanket.
What
That's
size
what
did you
it's-
order? Like 8XL? Comfy. It's $49.99 on Amazon. And
Travis is like swimming in this thing.
it's ridiculous. There's the original and the quarter zip. He went original. I'm not seeing that quarter zip.
I did.
You're not venting anything on that thing. You want it as it's
No, I
ridiculous.
told you. You pull it up to your armpits and you
This
just
is a
let it
one
loose.
size fits all, man. There's no
Yep.
sizing on this. And
No.
they sell them used for $36. And now that I've heard about Travis's experience,
I
do
don't know
not
if you
buy
wanna
it
do
used. Do not buy it used.
Look at the pictures
I
on there.
can't
though,
vomit
Joel.
it on
They're-
this. We gotta
They
sell
are
it.
so happy. There's two bros just sitting on a couch, just eating pizza. You know, just
And
on your
neither
stream
of
the other
them look
day,
like
you were
they're
talking
wearing
about
pants.
people that drink Mountain Dew and just
Yeah,
play
that was you.
Xbox and all
Yeah.
that.
All right. Hey, if anybody
If you
owns
don't
a
leave the
Comfy-
house, this is great.
Yeah. If anybody owns a Comfy, feel free to take a picture of it and post it on our Facebook. And we will make fun of you. No. Travis needs, maybe that's what Travis would love the support.
I
Hey,
bet you,
how about
I
this?
bet you
Zero-
Glenn
this?
has a comfy.
No. If somebody
I need zero
No, no.
validation for my choices.
if somebody
I stand
owns
by
a
it and I
Comfy,
regret nothing.
if somebody owns a Comfy and they post a picture of them on our Facebook, Travis, you have to take a picture of yourself and post it.
I'll take a picture of myself anyways without that. Until I don't get embarrassed. It's fine. I'm good. I might just order another one right now since I'm on the Amazon page.
I'd say to cover your lower half, but you pretty much, I mean, it covers 75% of you. It's absurd.
He's
You know.
naked underneath it.
Yeah, I'm proud. I got nothing to hide. We're good.
His cheeks are spread right now on that Serpa, on that Serpa fur or whatever on the inside of that thing. All right. Well, let's go ahead and plug. You know,
Yep.
let's plug it up.
a good
I
transition
gotta-
Plug it up
after
there.
talking about that.
I gotta plug my stream, Fox Cities Pinball, on Twitch and YouTube. On Twitch this weekend, May 14th at 9 a.m., I'm going to be streaming the Ladies Flip Wisconsin at District 82 Pinball. So it's just the ladies this time. So 34 women, cash prizes. We're going to be streaming that.
Nice.
So check it out.
Cool. Yeah. And yeah, Travis, feel free to plug our podcast.
Feel free.
Feel free.
Well, I would like to encourage everybody to go to Amazon.com and buy a Comfy. We get no affiliate money from that. You guys can also listen to us on the TPN network at Triple Drain Podcast. And then you guys can catch me this weekend. I'm going to Delaware to play in their tournament out
Yes.
there. And I think their Twitch handle is Delaware Pinball Collective. And
Believe so.
I think they're streaming. I'm not quite sure. I don't know the situation on that. So
I'm pretty sure they're streaming it.
Okay.
Nice.
I think I think they might be doing that, but there's no commentators or anything like that. So
Well,
I don't know.
you can
It just-
jump on.
yeah, if you just want to
When
watch.
you get knocked out, just jump on.
Oh my gosh.
Are you
I have my
pack-
glasses now. I think I should be fine.
Are you
I'll
pack-
finish above 50
Are
a
you
couple of
packing
times.
your comfy? You taking your comfy with you?
I'll wear it on the plane.
Okay. You're gonna have to get an
Travis
extra,
is going to be
you're
like,
gonna have
"This
to
is
get
a mask."
Yeah, you're gonna have to get the seatbelt extension just to fit in that seat with that thing on.
Mommy, what is that man wearing?
Oh man. Oh, okay. Yep. And
Yep.
my name's Joel. I do the Pinball
lot.
Network stream on Wednesdays, so feel free to check that out Wednesday nights at 10 Eastern Standard Time, and then every other Thursday I stream for Flippin' Out on the Flippin' Out stream. So check that out. But yeah, and then obviously Triple Drain. So if there's anything, if you guys are listening to this, if there's anything, once again, if you agree, disagree, what we're talking about, buy a comfy, feel free to email us at tripledrain@gmail.com or anything else we can talk about. But yeah, appreciate the listens, appreciate the laughter, guys. Thanks for, thanks for being ridiculous, Travis. And Tom, thanks for being back, man. It's great to have you on here.
Thanks.
We didn't even do a Tom Talks.
Tom was talking the whole
Dang.
episode. You were
Man. You
crushing
were
it this
fired up,
episode.
Tom.
This
Yeah.
is a lemonade.
It was the lemonade. Go to that sugar in there, yeah. What was
No
it? You were
sugar, it's Crystal
Pepsis.
Light.
That's right, Crystal Light. It was when you were drinking the Pepsis last time you were on.
Oh yeah,
Boy, you
I was on
you
fire.
were wired. All right. Okay. Well, once again, thanks, Travis, for being here, and Tom, you
Thank
get the
you.
last words.
Good night, everybody.